The Baltimore Ravens schedule has been released, and after looking at it, this is not going to be an easy year. Before we get into the nitty-gritty here, if you are a Baltimore Ravens fan and want to keep up on everything going on in Ravens Nation, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on post notifications, because we're going to cover Ravens all the time here. That's all we do. So now let's just go ahead and hop into the schedule. First game, home against the Texans. A very winnable game, I believe. I expect C.J. Stroud to be starting for the Texans. They have a new coach. It should be a winnable game. So not too bad there. What is going to be really tricky here and difficult is 3 of their first 5 games are divisional opponents. Now, we all know that divisional games are difficult as it is, but I believe the AFC North is going to be one of the strongest divisions this season, and I believe there is a possibility we see 3 AFC North teams in the postseason. So that doesn't make it any easier. And to make it even worse, all 3 of these in the beginning are all on the road. So it's going to be really brutal to start out with. Second game of the year at Cincinnati. Of course, in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, the AFC Championship a year ago, that's going to be a tough game because that team is really good, and I don't think they're going anywhere for a while. Honestly, that game could go either way for me. I do think the Ravens are going to be right at the top of the division. I think they're going to be really, really good. I also do preach patience, though, with a brand new offensive coordinator. All the pieces are there. Like, the writing on the wall is that this team and this offense is going to be really good. But we have seen it before. It was a new system on offense or defense. Sometimes it takes a little bit for the offense to get into a groove. Hopefully that's not the case here. Hopefully they come out week 1, all cylinders firing. But I'm not convinced that they will. So if it is a slower start to the season offensively, then they could drop a few early on. But at Cincy, going to be a tough one. Then they go back home against Indianapolis. Again, a very winnable game. And they go on the road to Cleveland. What Deshaun Watson are we going to see? That's really going to determine the Browns' success. Are we going to get Houston Deshaun Watson, or are we going to get a more rusty last year looking Deshaun? I think he'll be better than last season, but how much better, I don't know. They still got Nick Chubb, which is just a monster, and that defense is really good. So, again, a very tough game on the road. And then you have to go to Pittsburgh and play the Steelers. Second year for Kenny Pickett. George Pickens, that offense will be a lot better. The defense is always good in Pittsburgh. So, again, it really could go either way for me. A really, really tough sledding at the beginning of this season. Then they have to go to London and play the Titans, a winnable game. Ryan Tannehill's aging, but Mike Vrabel is a great coach, so I think they'll have him ready to play. Derrick Henry's still there. He's a beast. It'll be a tough game, but I think the Ravens will come away with a win there. They go back home against the up-and-coming Lions. Are we going to get the Lions from the back half of last season, or was that just a hot streak they were on? Are they going to come back down to earth and be the Lions that they have been for quite a while? That's going to be the key there. Again, a winnable game. At Arizona, Kyler Murray, I don't know if he'll be back from his ACL. I don't quite remember when he tore it, but I don't think he's going to be as mobile as he has been, and his game is very reliant on his legs. Very winnable game, and that's the game after the disrespect on Twitter. I hope Lamar just toasts them through the air, specifically through the air after they called him a running back. But no, it doesn't matter. He can do it on the ground. I really don't care. Either way, I just want to see them thump these dumb birds. The Cardinals, not the Ravens. Anyways, back home against the Seahawks, Geno Smith and company. They added Devin Witherspoon and Jackson Smith-Njigba through the draft. 2 very, very good picks for them. I think Seattle will be pretty competitive this year. It'll be another pretty close game, but I like the Ravens' chances there. Then they have back-to-back divisional games, home against Cleveland and home against Cincy. Again, 2 very tough games because they usually are. Divisional games, we know, are very tough. Then they go to Los Angeles and play the Chargers. That, again, a very tough game. That'll be a Sunday night game on the road. That'll be very, very tough. I'm just not really sold on the Chargers. They seem very hyped every year, and they don't quite live up to those expectations. But again, a road game in the NFL with one of the best quarterbacks in the league and Justin Herbert there, it's going to be tough. So then they go into a bye week. Coming back, they play the Rams. I don't know how they're going to look. They were injury-riddled last year, but they weren't really good at the beginning of the season either. I think they'll be better, but I think it's a very winnable game for the Ravens. At Jacksonville, again, that'll be tough. Trevor Lawrence, Doug Peterson, they are set up to be pretty good and continue the momentum they had last year. Be a very, very tough sledding. At San Francisco, which is a Monday night game, that will be probably one of the toughest games of the season. I don't know what their quarterback situation is going to look like at that point, but that defense is just ridiculous. So I don't know about that one. Then they go home against the Dolphins. I think it's very winnable, even though I do like Tua and those receivers. And then they finish off the season at home against Pittsburgh. Another tough one. So this entire schedule is going to be really tough. There's not many games I look at and go, yeah, I really like the Ravens to, I don't really see the Ravens dropping this game. There's a couple, but for the most part, it could really go either way for a lot of these games. The Ravens have to continue where they left off last year on defense, and it's going to be all about how quickly can they get into a groove on offense for me. Todd Monken and this offense is set up very nicely. They have a lot of good pieces that I absolutely love. How quickly can they get the ball rolling and be one of the best offenses in the AFC, which I believe they will be. But I see the Ravens finishing somewhere around the maybe 11-6 range, maybe 12-5. I think it's going to be right around that 11 win range, give or take, maybe a game or two. But all in all, this division is going to be ridiculous this year. And I believe they have a really good chance at winning this division. We've seen the last 2 years with Lamar healthy, they've been right up there, not just top of the division, but top of the AFC. And then he gets injured and the whole season kind of unravels from there. Can he stay healthy? That is what this season is going to depend on. Can Lamar Jackson stay healthy for a full 17 games? Hopefully, with this new offense, he's not going to be using his legs as much, even though it is such a big part of his game. But I say that, but the last 2 years he got hurt was from the pocket, so it wasn't like he was scrambling around and then just got hurt. So hopefully he stays healthy. Hopefully his receivers stay healthy, and that does not derail the season again. Let me know what you guys think of their schedule in the comments. What do you think their final win-loss total will be? And like I said, if you're a Ravens fan, you want to keep up on everything going on in the Ravens Nation, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.